What's your win rate?
39% over like 6 years.
That's trash. You're trash.
What do you mean, dude? Like, it's just how it is. I take a lot of trades to get a feel for the market, and I'm wrong all the time, but I'm never wrong that big.
All right, what's up? Tim Sykes here with Strati, Millionaire Strati. Everyone congratulate him. I'm not just making $1 million, but you're over $1.5 million now.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Look at this. Look at this. What changed that held you back from making $1 million so long? Like forever, and you're like, I'm in my feelings, like you're Greek Drake, and I was like, wow, what are you talking about? Like, just trade, man.
I think I was losing too much, like in between all the good setups. So I would make, let's pick a number. I'd make 10,000 and then give back like 7 or 8 way too fast. And I was spending a lot of time in 2024 and 2025 making my money back. And so all I did
That's
is
frustrating.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
So a good play would come, you'd nail it as well as you could, and then you're just making your losses back 2 days ago. So it's like it was a lot of wasted time.
That feels frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
So what's changed now? Why have you gotten so much smarter and wiser like an old Greek?
I just focus on losing less. So like I'm sizing down a little bit, but still making the same amount of money as I was before. You just have smaller losses.
So Strati is the inner circle leader, moderator, trainer. We say that when Strati joined the inner circle, he took it into the stratosphere. Are you learning from the students? What have you learned, if so?
It helps me remember like where people are at in the beginning, and it makes you remember all those old losses and mistakes that you used to do. So sadly, I get the constant reminders of what not to do from new traders, new students. You get to see
Why
it all
is
the time.
sad? That's not sad.
I feel bad because people are struggling or going through ups and downs, but like,
they're learning.
Yeah,
they're feeding you.
Yeah.
It would be wrong of you to refuse their gifts.
So like maybe I'm in a loss and I'm like, I'll just hold it and see if it'll go higher. And I remember 2 days before, like someone in Inner Circle saying I'm stuck in a back hold, and I'm like, I'm not going I'm not going to be that bad.
So you learn what not to do. Yeah. This is why I love teaching. Some people say like, oh, why would a successful trader teach? I think it's great. Not only is it very fulfilling to see them succeed, but it makes me a better trader because I remember the basics because so many newbies don't.
Yeah.
And so and myself. It helps you.
It helps because if you go on that journey, you forget a lot of the beginning. Like you start making money and you forget how you got there, and you just have that constant reminder of like, it could happen to anyone. Anybody could screw up on any given day, no matter how good you think you are. So at least having the reminders day to day might save me a little bit.
You remember the lyrics to Eye of the Tiger?
About it.
Too many times, it happens too fast.
Yeah.
You trade your passion for glory. Don't lose a grip on the dreams of the past. You must fight just to keep them alive. It's the Eye of the Tiger.
The Eye of the Tiger.
Woo! Look at this. How have you learned to really scale up your profits lately? Because even ahead of most inner circles, you usually like lose ahead of this. I don't know why. It's like a mental thing.
Yeah.
This inner circle, what did you do differently?
I just sized down the week before and was very meticulous. I think I was so busy planning the event. Like we have to plan the excursion, the catering, we have to do everything. So I would just trade for an hour, hour and a half max, and I'm off the desk by 11 doing a bunch of other things. So you should keep yourself busy. You should study. Like, don't spend that much time physically in positions. Like, do what you have to do and get out and move on.
Think about how crazy this is, because I know many of you want to be my next millionaire student. You want to like push it. I always say study hard, no days off. But you also have to choose how to study and choose what to do. Mind you, you just said size down, be more busy, and yet you made more from trading as a result. Like, that's very counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a little more?
Well, you lose less, and the bigger you go, the more emotional you get. So you're going to make more mistakes. If you just size down, you can focus more on the actual charts. You can let your setups play out. But if I'm in too big and it spikes a little bit and dips, I'm going to panic. I'm going to sell it. So just getting the right amount of size on these trades and not overstaying my welcome.
I don't know of any other job where this is where trading is a little weird. This is why I teach it, because it's not an exact science, but like less is more. It's kind of like golf, right? Where like those people who try to just smash the ball as hard as you can, no touch. It's just like, I want the ball to go far. And then versus people where like, it's like more Zen-like.
You lay up.
What?
Like just lay up. Like just if you're in the woods, just hit it like to the left a little bit. But when you try to kill it 250 yards, you duff it and it goes 5 yards.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So trading is very Zen-like, where I just love the fact that you traded less, you sized down, and you made more money.
Yeah, because the more trades you're in, I think the worse you're gonna do. Like you're putting yourself more at risk. The longer you sit at that desk, the longer you are in. If you trade pre-market, great. If you trade the market open, great. But then you trade midday, then you trade the close, then you take swings and you go for the after hours trades, then you hold things till 4 a.m. now. There's no way you're gonna be able to sustain that and keep winning. Like you're gonna get caught.
And it's such a bad feeling, especially if you have like a good trade in the morning and you're like, let's say I've made this mistake. I'm not impervious. Like if I'm up $4,900, $4,932. I remember one time where I was like, I just want to make 5,000 on the day, and I'm trying to make like an extra $70. There was one time when I was up 99,000. What was it? $99,930. I was $70 away from 100,000 on the year, and I was like, I was at the gym. I still remember this trade. I was in Norway with our friend Lucas, crazy trader, 9-figure trader, and we're doing like tricep push downs. And I'm at 99,000, literally $930. All I had to do was make $70. And I took a stupid trade on my mobile phone. I got a little unlucky. They did a toxic offering right as I was doing it. I didn't have like news or anything. And I lost like $9,000. And it was...
I'm not laughing at you.
And it was like in between tricep push down. Like did I have 30, 45 seconds before it was my say? And Lucas was like, Tim, it's your turn.
Yeah.
And I was like, not now. And he's like, oh boy. And I'm dip buying like a damn idiot. 15, 14, 13, 12. I'm like fumbling my phone. I'm trying to write out the alert. Every time I try to write out the alert and then flip back, it's down another $2 or $3. This happened in 2 minutes. Somewhere in that minute or minute and a half, I decided like I can't even send out the alert. Let me just get out of this position. And of course I sold, near the lows in the 8s and the 7s. It did actually eventually bounce to the 9s. But like I held down like $7, $8 a share, and I'm averaging in unaware that there's a freaking financing.
The longer because you could have logged off and went to the gym, but you kept yourself in the game too long.
It's well in the game, but also I was in the wrong game. The wrong game is trying to think that you have to hit these milestones. Who cares if you're at 99,999? Like these milestones are all in our head. It doesn't matter. Instead, I want you and myself to wait for the right trades, because then when the right trade comes along, you're not just trying to make $70 or $700. You can make $7,000. You can make $70,000 if you size up a little bit too. But it's about waiting for those right plays instead of trying to force it. Because like you said, like you want to have like a good day, a good week, whatever. I want to hit certain milestones. These are all mental traps. Yeah. The best traders we know, they don't care about these things. Sometimes they make or lose $20, $50, $100,000 in a day. Sometimes losing $100,000 in a day for a big trader, it's fine. That's the cost of doing business. Newer traders like, oh my God, I lost $100,000. Think about what that would buy in the real world.
Yeah.
Right?
Because by theory, you're supposed to trade based on the setup. So if the setup's there, you're not supposed to be scared. You're supposed to just do it. So, and
sometimes the setup might turn against you, but that's the cost of doing business.
That's fine. We price that in. Like we know we're going to lose trades here and there, but the theory is you will make more on your winners and you'll cut your losers quickly. You'll be profitable, but nobody is 100% correct all the time.
What's your win rate?
39% over like 6 years.
That's trash. You're trash.
Then you look at what do you mean, dude? Like, it's just how it is. I take a lot of trades to get a feel for the market, and I'm wrong all the time, but I'm never wrong that big. Like, I keep it
What's your biggest loss?
I think like 18,000 one time, but I've had like 20, 25K red days from multiple trades just adding up and becoming a problem. So all I've done this year is after maybe like 5 or 6K, we really slow down and log off or distract ourselves.
What's the best pattern that you've seen in 2026?
I hate to say it, those Chinese squeezers. These stocks are going like $1 to $10 on basically nothing, and then they go right back to zero after. So you can ride a lot of momentum within an hour and be done within the hour, and you can go about your day. There's these runners weekly. Then they run at like 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock. They're random, but they run so well. They're very liquid. They move. They're not like 1 cent penny stocks. They're like $5, $6, $7 stocks. You can get a lot of size and you can make a few bucks a share quick. But With that being said, they drop just as fast. So you need to be very safe. But I think for a day trader's market, what's better than being able to make a few bucks a share and then sell and log off? So I think it's perfect.
We have a text group. You see me, I take a lot of these.
And you're just in and out. Because we all know how it ends. They end going to zero, losing all their liquidity, losing volume. But for all of 2026, if you rode those patterns up, you would do very well.
And you can go about and live your life too. So I think it's win-win. But again, it's a very slippery slope. You have to be on the front side of these Chinese pumps. You don't want to be on the back side. It's a very, very ugly, nasty trend on the way down, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of wiggle room to make money. You got to be careful.
What's a big thing that you see students doing right versus wrong?
Doing right, what they do right, they plan their trades, they don't just jump right in. They try to think it out, but what they do wrong is once they're in, they just hold it. Like they get a little too convicted. I think because we teach plan your trades, be smart, like think about things, which is great. But then I think they get so in love and so convicted because they thought it out so well, they planned it out so well, that if it doesn't go their way, it maybe a little bit of stubbornness, like you can't believe that it's not working, but any trade can fail. And I think some people have a hard time accepting that.
I think that you also get like a false sense of security where if you're on a hot streak and you're like, no, I know what I'm doing, the market's wrong. No, you don't. The market is never wrong. Secondly, if you're a short seller, you're shorting a lot of these pump and dumps. They have toxic offerings, terrible fundamentals. In your mind, you're like, this has to go down. No, it doesn't. Some of these squeezes can just, crucify you. And we know a lot of short sellers who have literally blown up, losing 50, 70, 100, sometimes 150% of their account. Yes, you can go negative short selling. Welcome to the dangers of shorting, why I don't personally short. I don't think you can ever get too convinced of a position, ever. Like, just ever as a rule. I don't think that that's a good thing. Do you think you can ever get too, convicted?
You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know who's really running these stocks. Like, you don't know what insiders want to do. You don't know. It's really hard to know what's actually happening. So who are you to be the one that's super convicted and be able to call out what the stock's going to do? Like, no one, you don't.
Who are you? Who are you? Exactly.
You don't know what's going to happen. Don't lie.
I personally don't make as much as some of my students do. Like they've gone further than I ever have. I like trading cowardly, and you watching this, 99.9% of you probably should trade cowardly. I know there's probably going to be like 3 people out there being like, I've made more than you, Sykes. Fantastic. I hope you do. But the vast majority of you, especially early on in your journey, just take profits, lock in those 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% gains. Don't go for more because most likely you'll screw up, the market will screw up, something will happen. And the key that I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the key in the beginning is not just about how much money you make, percent-wise or dollar-wise, but getting in the habit of taking those singles so you learn the process. Like, here I made 26%, maybe I sold too early. Here I made 13%, sold well. Here I made 2%, it wasn't going well, but at least I still made money. 10 minutes later, it would have been a loss. Yeah. Every single trade is part of the process where you learn. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, because you're supposed to start small, and that's your trial and error period. So you should be trying things out. So a good thing to try out is when you're in winners to take pieces off and sell. So that way, when you have a big account, if you sell like a tenth of your position, you make like $5,000, $10,000 when some of these traders are scaling up to 7, 8 figures. So whatever you do in the beginning is going to follow you. So if you're cutting your losses quickly, you're scaling out pieces, you're doing the right things, that money adds up very fast.
It adds up. And if you develop good habits, that really pays dividends later on because you have those good habits. If you develop bad habits, even in a hot market where you're rewarded financially, it's going to hurt you later on because not all markets are going to be that, beautiful. And a bad market will destroy all of your wins from a good market much quicker than you realize.
Yeah. The worst thing, I think, is when people make money the wrong way very early. Like, making money fast at the beginning is bad. Like, I want you to make money, but if you didn't do it the right way, if you got lucky, it's coming back around for you. So
that was me. You have to understand, I got started during a bubble 20 plus years ago. I thought I knew everything. My win rate was like 95%.
Wow.
Like, I was like, am I a genius? Like, am I just like, I'm extrapolating. I'm like, if I do this every year, I'm going to be the richest person in the world. Like, I was such a moron, but I didn't know any better because I was in such a hot market. For example, I made $800,000 in the first 4 months of the year 2000. $800,000. I was a freshman in college, downloading illegal movies on Merc on my computer. Couldn't even get into bars. I was so thin. I got like kicked out with like my little fake IDs. I made 800 grand in 4 months. And I'm thinking, okay, if I can bet bigger now, I can make 8 million and then 80 million and then 800 million. I'm like, the billion is the limit, right?
I guess it depends what you were doing. Like, what did you make what was the strategy? Like, you were just buying whatever? Or?
I was buying OTCs into the close, and inadvertently, I didn't know that I was riding these pump and dumps.
That's good.
Back then, boiler rooms would call people at dinner time and pitch them stocks. There was no pre-market trading. So all the buy orders would add up at 9:30 a.m. and I would sell into a 20-30% gap up every day for 4 months. I should have made much more than 800,000.
It's like you didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. That's kind of what we're saying.
I just saw a pattern.
Yeah.
And then the NASDAQ crashed. In the last 8 months of the year 2000, I lost $10,000.
Nothing was gapping up.
Nothing was gapping up, and it forced me to learn short selling. I later made $1 million shorting in 2001, 2002, but I didn't know shorting. So like patterns are amazing, whether it's 4 months or 4 weeks or 4 years. You don't know how long it's going to last, but then you need to have other patterns in your tool belt. You can never just have one pattern, because if you do, you know, that's bad.
Yeah.
The market can change.
People don't know how to turn it off. So if say you, well, this is hindsight, right? But say you nailed 10 of those in a row, when the 11th one didn't gap up. Nowadays, like a jack will be like, all right, that's the loss. This is done for a little while. And people get to chill out. But newer traders, we don't know how to.
I didn't know that. And
no one knows how to stop.
It's crazy. I never sized up. I wish someone could go back to 2000 and just hit me and be like, you're winning 95% of the time. Size up. And I never sized up. I would make like 5 grand, 10 grand. I was a freshman in college. I had 3 other freshmen on the couch, like watching me. And I was like, I'll bet you $100 each that I can make 10 grand in the next hour. And so I was like, made 10 grand, $100 each. And I was like, ha ha, 10,300. Like, what a moron. All I had to do was size, just once, I should have doubled up, tripled up.
Instead of gambling with your roommates.
It was like, because I thought, in my mind, $10,000 in a day was a lot of money.
That's amazing.
As a college freshman. But that was my self-limiting belief. Had I just added an extra zero, just one time, could have made $100,000 in a day. I did make $100,000 in a day, but that was ISCO chapter 6 of my book. I'll link it below. That was crazy. But that was an absurd one-time example where I sized up, where everything lined up. But I should have sized up on the more imperfect plays, because I was still winning 95% of the time, right?
Sizing up's the battle too. We have a few students here who are starting to do really well. And I was like, why don't you go sit down with Jack? So they went and spoke for a half hour, and they're going to learn how to slowly scale it up. So that's part of the battle too, is if you're doing well, if you're watching this video and things are going good for you, you do need to learn how to size up, or else you're...
But we said at the beginning of this video, you have to size down. Make up your mind.
It depends where you're at. Like, if you have a lot of things going on, if life is taking over, size down. But if you're in that real big trading run, that sweet spot, like it's your time, you have no other obligations, and things are going well for you, put the extra zeros.
I think you can size up. But, big disclaimer, big asterisk, 99.9% of you should trade smaller. 99.9% of you should focus on the process at first. If you're not in the sweet spot yet.
Like 1% of the people watching this video should take that advice.
0.1. I don't know what it is, but it's a small amount. Because again, if you trade with size in the beginning, you're probably just going to lose. You don't know what you don't know. So understand, we're talking about different parts of our journey, right? Like, how much are you up in 2026?
I think like 370,000.
Nice. That's good.
Really good.
How many years as a former gym teacher would that take you to earn? Is that like 8 years? He's a former gym teacher, ladies and gentlemen.
Like 5 or 6.
No.
60K a year?
You were earning 60K a year as a gym teacher?
For sure.
There's so much wrong with our education system. That's another video. Everyone congratulate Strati on his success. Click below if you want to join the inner circle. Recognize that you're going to have to go through a whole interview process. We don't just allow anybody. We're going to go have fun. We're going to go on a duck tour. Stay tuned for some photos and videos.